Hello Gearfax friends, welcome to video number 5 about the Zoom G14. There it is, and I've got my software set up. It's called Zoom Guitar Lab and it's completely free from Zoom's website. Very easy to find and download. As you can see, it's found no device here, so I'm going to plug in. Light instantly comes up. Message says please connect to the internet to see new patches, effects, receive updates and news. Okay, well I am connected to the internet, but anyway, we'll click that. Okay, still no device found. As you can tell, this is the very first time I'm using this, so I'm just going to close the software and restart it. Still no device found. Okay, I've sort of half solved the problem. It turns out you need a micro USB cable that is designed to carry data as well as provide a charge. So I've got the right cable now, and according to what's down here, the device is ready to use, but the software has crashed. So let's close and try again. Device found, loading. Alright, we got there. The first thing to note is that the G14, like the G1XON and all of its predecessors really, with only a few exceptions, is not a recording interface. USB can only be used for backups and for adding new effects, which Zoom does provide for free through this software, Zoom Guitar Lab. Now you will have to bear with me because it's the first time I've used it, but it looks like this is providing us with a list of the actual individual effects which are available presently installed on the unit. And of course there's a lot of them. There's about 78 I believe. Now if you want to hear each of these effects in action, I have just yesterday uploaded a demo with some guitar improvisation on every individual effect on its own. So that's not patches, that's individual effects. Check that one out if you're interested in hearing the quality of each effect. Some of them are great, some of them are okay, but there's no doubting that there's a lot of them to choose from. So if I go closer to the middle here and click on patch, this is where our factory patches are listed. So each patch contains a maximum of 5 effects from that previous page. I remember this one, Skater Drive, for example, was a really nice distortion with a little bit of compression and delay on it. I notice here too you can put in a little description of what the patch was like, any notes that you want to make about the kinds of songs you're using it for. So right now this is showing the factory patches. Patches themselves in this column can be overwritten manually on the pedal and they'll show up in this list too. But you can also edit using the software, and here we go. So this is the Skater Drive, or I was expecting to see Skater Drive, but it seems that on the previous list when you select a patch, that doesn't switch the pedal to that patch. What it's come up with here is the patch that was selected when I plugged the pedal in via USB. It's not like it's a problem though, because my patch list is still down here and I can go through any of those. Slight delay when I press the up and down arrow key, so I can't fly through these patches super quickly, but you get the idea. So I can actually play on the pedal and listen as I make changes. So I can switch these pedals on and off and adjust parameters in the usual way. Here's a fine detail that's very well worth paying attention to, and that's processor running at 78%. Some effects take more processing power than others, and if you put say 3 in a row that are pretty heavy on the processor, that could bring you up around 80 or 90%, leaving you room for only one more effect. So sometimes you might try to add a 5th effect and the pedal will say no, that's too much processing. Unfortunately, this is just a limitation of the pedal. We saw a similar limitation on the G1ON, the previous multi-effects unit of this type released by Zoom. Anyway, overall it seems like a very good, intuitive interface, very easy to understand. There's nothing I've found confusing so far. Although, I notice that there are 6 simulated pedals here, yet in the specifications it clearly states that it's capable of doing 5 effects at a time. So why they've shown us 6 here? Maybe the software gives you just a little bit of extra capability. I guess we just have to experiment to find out what the answer is to that. Let's go to news. I am hoping that somewhere I'll find news that says that I can download some additional effects, because I've noticed that on the G14 there are actually some effects that I am missing from the G1XON and other predecessors, such as particle reverb, which I thought was a real highlight of those earlier pedals. I haven't found it on the G14. That's not to say it isn't available, although I'm seeing nothing about any additional effects for this model here in Guitar Lab News. I guess the B3N was probably about the most recent pedal release before the G14, and it has updates, so maybe in the next few days and certainly in the next few weeks we'll be seeing more updates which will add new effects to the G14. Sorry I can't show you that today, that was a real disappointment. I'm just going to click on a few other things randomly around here just to see what else I can do, but it looks like eject is the only option. Under edit we've got preferences, let's see what that is. Alright, so here's my option to be notified when a new version of the firmware is available, so I'll receive that and that will be most welcome. I may even upload another video about that when it comes. Quit is the only option under File. We can access the manual here in Help, and also I've already had a look at this update history. It's just a very rough PDF, and if you go right to the bottom you'll see, how far does it go? There. January 2019 update effects compatible with the G14 series. Well, January's finished now and I don't see that update unless there's something very obvious that I'm missing. One more quick look through what we've had. Okay, I see nothing there that helps us to add anything that we don't already have. And our patches, as described before, that just gives us a list of the patches that are in the pedal. You can also drag and drop them out into here as well, so I could put Skater Drive over there and then replace with something different, and if I somehow filled up all 50 patches on the pedal and I had excess patches that I still wanted to save, then this column is where I can save them. Then of course we had the editor. Again, very self-explanatory, just play the pedal, adjust the settings as you go, change the effects, try different combinations. It's a bit quicker and simpler and certainly more visual than using the interface on the actual pedal. Then finally we had that news, and unfortunately there was no news. Okay, so that's my summary of Zoom Guitar Lab. It seems like pretty good software, we're just waiting on those updates, and I'll be sure to let you know when that happens. Thank you for liking, commenting, or subscribing. And a final note, I did say there would be 5 Zoom G14 videos, but I am going to do one more, a bonus video where I'm going to plug a keyboard into the G14 and see what life it can bring out of a crummy synthesizer. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.